Well, welcome to the Kristi Jones Show, where it's all about living your life to the fullest. I'm a life coach, speaker, and business owner in multifamily real estate, and I've had wild success in multifamily housing for over 25 years now. I am so passionate about helping others merge their success and lead a fulfilling life, and I bring it all together right here on this podcast. So join me and let's get started to live your life to the fullest. Well, hello, my friend. Welcome back. Welcome back to another week here on the podcast. I'm going to have a really short, concentrated episode for you today, but it's on something that you need to hear. And I know that because every time I'm in a group setting or I have a consult here lately for one-on-one coaching, I'm hearing a really common pattern show up in the conversation. And so I want to give you this reminder that I know you're going to need. And I want to remind you that you are a limited edition. You are a rare gem. And so many times I find that people are moving through life trying to kind of cover up or kind of, just not shine the light on the fact that they are one of a kind. Just kind of blend in with the masses, just kind of meld in with the group, don't want to bring attention to myself, don't want to point out that I am a limited edition. But I'm here to tell you exactly that. I want to kind of get in your face in these next 15, 20 minutes. And I want to remind you that you are exactly that you are a limited edition. There is not another you. That is your secret sauce. That is your superpower. When I talk about you being a limited edition, you being that one of a kind, rare thing to find, that either makes you feel like you really settle into that and you're like, hell yeah, I am. And you're like, yeah, I've known that my whole life. Or I'm definitely feeling that way right now. That might be you. And I so hope it is. But if it's not, listen up because we're going to touch on a few things. You need to know and just know there's not another you. You know that. There is only one you. You are in a limited edition. And I think it's really interesting that when I see a lot of human behavior, that people want stuff when I say stuff, they want the purse that no one else has. They want, the rare, when someone's trying to sell you something, they want you to know it's a limited edition. If it's a rare thing, not a lot of people have it. It makes it more. Why do they do that? Why do people, when they're trying to sell certain things, why is it that they want you to know if it's rare, if that item is a limited edition? Why do they want you to know that? Because they want you to know how damn special it is. They want you to realize that, look, these are really hard to come by. There's not another one of these. It is a limited edition. Have you ever gone to, I know this happens in cars sometimes, like especially when you get up into certain classes of cars, brands of cars, and they only make, 1,000 of them that year in that particular model. Why? I mean, and they're generally priced a little different. Why? Because it's one of a kind. It's like very rare. They want you to know that. And that is a selling point. When that person is selling a product like that, that's a selling point. That it's one of a kind, that is a rare find, that you're probably not going to come across one of these. You can't go to any store and find it. This is one of a kind. But when it comes to ourselves, when it comes to you evaluating yourself and thinking of yourself in that way, that makes some people really uncomfortable. I want to normalize that because you are one of a kind, whether that settles well with you or not, whether that makes you feel uncomfortable or you kind of shy away from it because you're like, oh no, I mean, I'm really not. Maybe you already start doing that negative self-talk. That's what I want to cut out. We got to stop that crap. That has to come to an end. If you are going to live your life to the fullest, if you are going to live an abundant, full life, You have to know that you are one of a kind, that you are a limited edition. God only made one of you exactly like you. That makes you so special that the first person that needs to recognize that is yourself. It really doesn't matter what outside of you. If they don't understand that you're a limited edition, that's irrelevant. You first have to understand that. When you start really buying into that you are a limited edition, you are a rare, you're that, one in a million. When you really come to grips with that, you're going to behave differently. You're going to talk differently. You're going to make decisions differently. You're going to move through your life differently. You're going to carry yourself differently. So it's really important that you understand how divinely unique you are, that you are a limited edition. There is not another you. Nobody walks the way you do, thinks the way you do, speaks in the tone that you speak in. Nobody has your voice. Nobody has your voice. So I want you to really like embrace that. Don't shy away from that. A lot of times the things that make us so unique, that is our secret sauce. That's exactly your secret sauce. That's what you bring to the table that makes you uniquely you. One of the things that I want to highlight in this little quick chat we're having about you being a limited edition is how you need to really find your own voice, stand in your own voice, be proud of your own voice, be proud of your own uniqueness. You have to find your voice. And when I say find your voice, I'm not just talking like what you're hearing. I mean, find your inner voice. Really get in touch with your inner voice. What that is uniquely yours. Nobody can create that for you. Nobody can take it away from you. So I want you to stand and be and really spend time standing and finding in your true voice, and do not be scared to use it. Don't be scared to use it. You don't have, I'm not talking about raising your voice. I'm not talking about shouting. I'm talking about the exact opposite. Intelligently, calmly, thoughtfully using your voice to really communicate the way that you possibly see the situation, see the world. Whatever it is that you find yourself needing to communicate on, do it in your own voice, in your own authentic voice. Don't try to be a parrot and sound like somebody else. I see so much of that nowadays. And I'm going to talk about this in business. I see this a lot, that whether you are a business owner, whether you are, been in your area or field working for someone else for quite some time, you've probably noticed a pattern that, have you ever noticed like certain people start sounding alike, saying the same things because they don't want to be thought of as, quote, different. And I think that's like, you're losing the whole secret sauce of what you are and who you are and how you communicate, how you do your job. So when it comes to in the professional realm, in the work realm, don't try to show up and do your job and do your work, whatever it is that whatever it is that you're into right now, whatever your work is at the moment. Quit trying to show up and sound like and look like and be like someone else. You know how much energy that takes when we do that? When we try to not be our own limited edition, but we try to then be like someone else. That's the thing that I find so interesting on human behavior. And we kind of go through this in our teen years. I think that what happens in the teenage years is really interesting because one of two things happens. Either you want to, because like those are the years like You want to be accept, you're forming new friend groups, possibly. It's a time when you're just kind of discovering some new things about yourself, right? And we tend to want to be accepted. And so, have you ever noticed in that age group, like everybody dresses the same, or they have common, like, there's a lot of common things that start showing up. You know what I mean? Like hairstyles, clothing, all the outside stuff, right? Just to like the whole fitting in deal. Well, I think what happens, and as I reflect back, I think it's really interesting that in that time, we'll say in that little capsule of life, I think one of two things happens. Either you become that person that's uber obsessed with fitting in, looking like your friends or who you call your friends, that you're very obsessed in that, or you start to see like, oh, I mean, I like some of maybe how the clothes that they're wearing, but I like wearing this. And then you actually have the courage to wear what you want to wear. And I'm just using that as an example, right? Because I think we can all go back to that time of our life and think about, where you didn't want someone to like make fun of something you had on or the way you were wearing your hair or something like that. I know I remember that. But I also remember going, well, I like it, so it doesn't really matter if they like it. And I think whether that happens in the teenage years or whether that happens later in life, I think it's really important to identify that your brain is struggling with that. And you're either wanting to meld in with the masses, or you're feeling like, no, I mean, I'm a limited edition. I like wearing my clothes like this. I like wearing my hair like this, whatever the case might be, right? But it also comes down to not just the outer stuff I'm talking about, but it also comes down to the way we view things or the opinions we have, the thoughts we have, right? So you can either try to go with the masses and sound like they do and talk like they do and do all, stay in line, stay in order with whatever the peer group says, whatever. And you guys, peer groups, they still come, like it does. It's not just in school, right? You become a parent, then you have parent friends. And a lot of people, like, they want to feel included and like, oh, they think like we think. But what if you don't think like that person? I mean, it's okay. It's like, that's where we have to realize we're all limited editions. We all have super awesome things about ourselves. And when we try to like just do that, blend in, fit in, our uniqueness gets lost in that. So I wanted to have this really quick conversation about you being a limited edition, you being that rare gem, that rare find, the thing that you just don't come across very often. There's not another you. And I want you to be really comfortable with that. I want that to empower you. I don't want that to be like, oh God, no, I really don't want to think about the fact that I'm a limited edition and I just kind of want to blend into the background. But if you do that, then you are robbing the world and the people around you from all the amazing things that you bring to the table in the way that you do it. Someone had once said to me, well, Kristi, a million people do the kind of work I do. I mean, there's a million of me out there doing the work that I do. And that's true. There is. I mean, there's even the work I do. There's tons of people out there. There's tons of people that do what you do, but they don't do it the way you do it. So that shouldn't stop you from trying to be the best that you can be because someone else is doing it too. That's like insane. Think about that. That's crazy town thinking. All right. That's crazy town thinking. That doesn't make any sense. That's like a doctor, someone going to med school and saying, I don't know why I'm going to be a doctor because there are literally hundreds of thousands of doctors right now in the United States. I just don't even know why I'm going to do it. Well, you're going to do it because you're probably gifted for it. And you're going to bring your own secret sauce to that field. I hope you're getting like the drift of what I'm saying here. Just because someone else is doing something that you want to do, they're not doing it with the way you would do it, the way you would say it, the way you would structure it, the way you would create it, the way you would interact with people. So you have to start seeing yourself as a limited edition. We got to quit this like, oh, I'm really not that special. Yeah, you are. You are. You are. Okay. You are. It's time that you start seeing that. If you needed this little refresher, let me know. Drop me a comment on social media, reply back, find my email in the show notes below and send me an email. Let me know if this is something that like I needed to hear this today. I needed to hear this today. I want to really encourage you to connect with people who understand that you are a limited edition. Run in those circles. Connect with those people. You can't spend, you don't want to spend your time convincing others of the gifts and the talents and the uniqueness and the amazing, awesome sauce that you are. You don't have time for that. That's like, we're not in the convincing mode, okay? Because we already know, you know that you are already those things. It is. It already is. Period. End of sentence. It already is. You are already those things. So you don't have to be like an I got to prove it mode. I got to convince you mode. No, you surround yourself with people that already get it. And generally those are people that recognize their own uniqueness, that recognize that they are a limited edition. You know, people that are not there and recognizing that about themselves, they're probably not going to be that circle for you. They're still trying to discover that they have that in them. They're still trying to get comfortable with the fact that they are a limited edition. If that's you, I really hope this message kind of like perks up your ears a little bit, because sometimes if you're not thinking, doesn't cross your mind once in a while how rare you are, how amazing you are, what a limited edition you are. If that hasn't crossed your mind, then you're probably doing a ton, I mean like a ton of negative self-talk throughout the course of the day and the week. So I get it. Like, I understand when we're feeding our brain the negative talk, then you're not going to be thinking, oh, and also I'm a limited edition and I've got the awesome sauce, right? A lot of times those two things don't go together. So we got to clean up the negative talk. If you need help with that, you need to reach out to me, because that's one of my superpowers. That's how I help others, is we get clear, we get clarity, we get clear, help bring out in front what you need to be seeing about yourself. Because a lot of times others see it in us quicker than we see it in ourselves. So I want to encourage you to think of yourself every single day as that limited edition. There's only one you, and that is your superpower, because nobody is ever going to do what you do the way that you do it. And that, my friend, that is your secret sauce. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here this week. Loved this super quick chat. I will see you next week. And I hope connect with me on social. I'm on all the channels. So definitely let's connect there. Let me know what you thought of this episode, and stay fabulous until next week. I want to thank you for tuning in today to the podcast. And I hope you've enjoyed the conversation and all the info that's been shared today. And I hope you've come away with a few ideas on how to make the most out of it for your life. If you loved this episode, be sure to share it with your friends and family. And also make sure you subscribe to the podcast and tap that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Also, it would mean the absolute world to me if you would leave a podcast review. So until next time, my friend, keep flourishing and thriving and live your life to the